Ladies, jealous, envious women are masters at disguising their dislike and their disgust for you. Jealous women are masters at faking as if they actually like you, as if they're actually wanting to be friends with you, as if they really want you involved in the things that they're doing. But a lot of women who are jealous, envious, bullies, have mean-spirited tendencies. They often like to get sweethearted women, feminine women, kind women, genuine, authentic women who don't have that kind of hatery about them. They often like to get them involved in order to set them up for failure. See, jealous, envious women, they get joy out of seeing your downfall. And because of that, they will deliberately befriend a woman they do not like so that they can see her fall in some way, so that they can make her entertainment, so that they can make her the topic of their gossip when they're sitting around the people they actually like. And ladies, you have to be wise and know who's for you and who's against you. And that's where feminine discernment and where wisdom comes in. A lot of you are going out of town, taking these so-called girls trips with women who do not like you, or women that you barely know, and because you're friends with their friend, you go out of town with them. Because it's a friend of the family, you go out of town with them. And that's when you have the most worst experiences of your life. You do not need, and this is not wise, to go out of town, let alone go out of the state or the country with known jealous haters. A lot of women cannot handle being in an environment that, number one, they're not used to, meaning if a woman is accustomed to, you're dialing yourself up, you look good, you feel good, you're confident, and then you're out and about and you're getting attention from other people, you're genuinely enjoying yourself. A woman who is jealous of you, she is not going to be able to handle that. So you want to make sure that you know her before you go out of town with her. You want to make sure that you've had at least 5 interactions with this woman before you leave town, because women like that will backstab you in your back and you won't even see it coming. Women like that, they watch you quietly. They have those kind of monitoring spirits, as they say, and they watch you from afar, seeing how you are. They admire you in a sick-sorted way, but it comes out as jealousy and envy. And when you're out in a place that you might not be familiar with, women who are jealous, envious, and bullies, they will take advantage of the fact that you depend on them for something. And these kind of things happen during those girls' trips. A lot of women have talked about how they have girls' trips from hell, where, they got into fights, where the women got jealous over them getting attention from men, where the women just right out left them in the hotel room and left the country, leaving them stranded, where they took their money, they took their, plane tickets. Women, we have to be wise and know who's for us and who's against us. Know who your real friends are. If you're going to take a girls trip, you want to make sure you're going out of town with somebody who has your back. You want to go out of town with someone who is closer to you than the person that you might not know. And me personally, I'm not going out of town with one person I know and then 15 other women that I don't know, unless it's some kind of work event and I know exactly where I'm going and I know exactly what I'm doing. But to go out of town with women who are jealous of you in your own neighborhood, who act shady towards you, who talk about you behind your back, your so-called friend is friends with somebody who doesn't like you. Think about that. You're going to take a girls trip with a woman you call a friend, and yet she's extremely close to a woman who cannot stand you. Make it make sense to me. As women, we have to get better at protecting ourselves and looking at the red flags and not being so eager to go wherever we're going, so eager that we go out of town with the devil. A lot of these women, they use that as an opportunity. They use that vulnerability in order to take advantage of your kindness, take advantage of the fact that you are sweet. You're overlooking all of the pettiness. You're overlooking all of the shadiness. And a lot of people, I've seen comments of women saying, this is like, you're just paranoid or something. No, these things are happening. Women are being stranded. Women are being beat up. Women are losing their lives because they're going out of town, going away with snakes, because they are dealing with women who do not like them, and they're so sweet, they're so naive that they don't see the red flags. So when you go out of town with a woman who you might suspect might be a hater, make sure you're going somewhere that, number one, you are familiar with. Meaning, if you have to be around this woman, don't go to a place that you are not at least familiar with the city. You know how to get around well. You have your own money. You have access to all of your personal belongings, your passport, your IDs, your money, your plane ticket, all of that stuff you have on yourself. So that way, if that woman decides to act petty, act shady, and feels like she just want to leave you, you can still get around well. You don't want to be depending on a hater when you are out of town. And if you get any idea or any hint that a woman is starting to act funny towards you, and especially now if you're one-on-one with another person, you might be able to bear through it. But if you are a lone ranger, if you're by yourself as a woman around a whole group of women on some trip and they're doing things that you're not comfortable with, they're making you feel uncomfortable, excluding you from things, leaving you to be by yourself, that might be your sign to get up out of there. Because when people, and women are good for this, their energy tends to change depending, and not all women, that should go without saying, but I'm going to say it. A lot of women who are jealous and envious, their energy changes depending on who they're around. And a woman who is genuine, a woman who's authentic, a woman who truly is for you, her personality does not change according to who she's around. Her concern, her love for you, her care for you, the way she enjoys your company, that doesn't change depending on who she's around. And that is one of the number one ways you can tell a woman is, if anything, being inauthentic or fake, because she's one way around you and another way around other women. If she decides, when you all are together by yourself or alone with maybe one other person, and she's really close to you, talking, having a good time, and then all of a sudden another woman comes around or another group of women come around, and suddenly she can't talk to you that much. Suddenly she doesn't feel like she wants to really be around you like that. That woman is not a woman that you should be in close proximity with, and that is definitely not a woman that you should be going out of town with. True friends, true companions, true people who actually love you, care about you, or at least enjoy your company, they don't change up when they get around other people. They are still your friend when other people are around, and they are still your friend when people who don't like you, they're on your side. They're not getting in the middle of things. Now, I'm not saying that you might not have situations where, your friend has a friend that, you deal with them, you might not like them for some reason, but at least you're able to be, as they say, cordial. Your friend, if that person is always leaning on the side of the person who doesn't like you, and they're talking about you as well, you keep getting word that they're talking about you, believe it. See, a lot of women can spare themselves of a lot of these uncomfortable and sometimes harmful situations if they just believe what's in front of them. Stop looking at the person who doesn't like you, talking to somebody who was supposedly trying to include you in different things, but they're acting different around that person. They're excluding you. They're making you feel left out on purpose. They're doing things that allows you to, they want you to feel like you're not a part of the group. And honestly, this kind of thing, group mentality, bully tactics, jealousy and envious women, these little girl strips and friends groups, I really believe, and this is my opinion, that once you reach the age of 30, those kind of things really shouldn't matter that much to you. Nothing wrong with going on a trip with your friends. If you have good friends that you appreciate and you trust them, you feel like you can trust them, go out of town. But a lot of women are getting together, especially some of these younger women. A lot of this is for my 20-somethings, my late teens and 20-somethings. A lot of you are going out of town with women who don't really like you, but because you want to flex on them when you get to Miami, you want to flex on them when you get out here to Jamaica, when you get to the DR, when you get to wherever you're going, you want to flex on them and show them how you are and how you look and all of this stuff. And that same woman that you're doing these things to, she'll come after your life because she can't stand that. She can't handle that. A lot of these women seek after those who like to flex a lot because they are envious and jealous and miserable in their own lives. So a lot of women, and this is not to scare you out of taking girls trips, this is to make you aware and to make you really think about who you're about to get on your next flight with. And even some men, a lot of them are very much like agitators. So if you find yourself going on a trip with other couples and the wife might not like you, maybe you know them, the girlfriend doesn't like you like that, but you know the guy and they just thought it would be a good idea to take a couples trip, yeah, you have to watch that too. Because at the end of the day, a wife, a husband, they will always stand together for one another. And if you are going out of town, and especially, this is not wise, but I've seen it happen, you have people third wheeling it. You have a bunch of women going out of town with their friend and her man, which is weird. If you're doing those kind of things, don't ever think that that man is going to stand against his wife and take your side, especially when you're out of town. It's not going to happen. You might find yourself stranded or worse. So as a woman, just make sure you're reading the red flags of people when you're in your own town and not going out of town with the enemy, not going out of town with women who can't stand you right where you are, but you're going to go out of town with them. That's not wise. Ladies, if somebody gives you a bad feeling, and this is where your intuition comes into, a lot of women feel like it's a weakness to follow their intuition. If something doesn't feel right, they just don't do it. God gave us that. I believe as women, God gave us that intuition, that way of just knowing, like, all people have this, but women have it to a heightened level. Having that intuition, or maybe the Spirit of God is telling you, like, this is not the person you should go out of town with. This is not the person you need to be around. You can talk to them here, but you're not that close. Understand and recognize when you're really not that close to somebody. And then when you recognize that, make sure you be a friend at that level. Stop trying to be close friends with acquaintances. Some women are too eager to be so close to women that they end up trying to fake be close to women who don't really like them. And then also, beware of the women who like to get you involved in things but not have you involved in things. What do I mean by that? They might invite you to be a part of planning a party, planning an event. And every idea you give, they shoot it down automatically. They don't like your taste, they don't like your style, but they invited you to be a part of the planning and the event, all so they can talk about how bad your taste is, how bad you don't know how to decorate, how your clothes are this, you're that, your style is not that. It can have you looking like, so why am I here? Why did you want me to be a part of this if you don't like my opinions, if you don't like the advice I'm offering, if you don't like what I'm trying to do to help? I will tell you the reason why jealous, envious women do things like that. Because they want to use you for entertainment value only. When they invite you to be a part of something special, and you even have this in families, where a family member will offer to have you a part of something only so they can clown you. And as I have said in previous videos, ladies, you are not for anybody's entertainment. So you have to know, like, if she always has something negative to say about the positive ways you're trying to help. I'll give you a story real quick. And this wasn't in person, it was online. Me being the way I am, one of my old classmates, I don't really comment too much on Facebook and social medias, but this time I commented because she seemed like she was going through it. And she was like, I need something. She posted something to the effect, I need something to wind down. It's just too much going on. I feel like I'm losing my mind, something to that effect. And it was late at night, so I posted, like, you should sip some chamomile tea, and if you have candles, light some candles. I put that in there. I'm offering something, I thought was good. So a few minutes later, I get the notification. She responded, and it says, they're laughing, and it says tea, green. It says chamomile tea, and all of these laughing emojis. And after that, another person commented green tea, chamomile tea, just laughing. Like what I said was just like, whatever, that's stupid, It was corny to them. And somebody came after that and said, yeah, you need some Hennessy and you need to smoke a whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mind you, this is social media. I was younger, not that you have to be young to be your authentic self, But the point I'm making is that sometimes even when you offer up nice things to people, and these people I went to school with, it's like not a big deal. But it's the first thing that came to mind because it shows how even when you're trying to be helpful, that wasn't said in a joking way. I said that in all seriousness. But because they kind of have that more ghetto type mentality, like they're going to drink and smoke and things like that, I guess me telling them to sip tea really wasn't a thing. And now that I think back about it, I'm like, hey, it was funny. But things like that can happen with people who know you closely. They just don't like what you're offering. And instead of just being like, okay, whatever, they just take it for what it is, disregard because they don't like it. They use that as an opportunity to clown you. And while the description I gave in the description I gave you, that was something minor. Women do these kind of things in person when they absolutely know you. They will deliberately, now I walked into that one, that was online, but people will deliberately invite you to things in order to clown you on purpose, and you want to avoid those situations if at all possible, especially jealous, envious, toxic women and women with a bully mindset. They will invite you, include you, all so that you could be their entertainment. And as wise, confident, leveled up women, you do not have time to be around people who use you for their entertainment and look for ways to try to bring you down in some way. You have to understand that's right out of the hater's handbook. Their whole goal is to bring other people down to their level. And you, when you recognize it for what it is, you will not go on the girls' trips with your haters. You will not get involved in the events that they try to bait you and set you up to be, to fail or be there, either be in some kind of drama or be in some kind of, their entertainment. Like, we just don't do that. Do not avoid your discernment. Do not avoid your intuition. And if it doesn't feel right, don't go. Simple as that. Do not go to every place that you're invited to, especially when haters try to bait you into going somewhere when you know they don't necessarily care for you. Ladies, do not allow people, especially jealous, envious women, to set you up. That's what it comes down to. All right? Think about those girls' trips. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.